Sorry, we're back. For those watching the recording, this is part 2. Hi, I'm Stevo.
And I'm Spastique.
And I'm about to do a joke. Pichun is just knocking them out every time. You know, you don't have to worry about that. Actually, just to let you learn by doing... Let's see, where is it? Ah. Here, just play this, alright? Then it'll all make sense, okay?
I can't see the stream. Are you showing yourself a copy of Perfect Cherry Blossom? Or is it just the same old image?
I'm actually loading up my copy of the game.
Okay.
See, just play one of these and you'll understand, okay? Not waiting for this epic effect to stop being so epic. Alright, we're cool.
So I take it the recording stopped right as you were doing that Pichun sentence?
I think so. Alrighty. And I'm pretty sure all the fighters you are strong enough to take a punch, right? Spastique, I can't take it. You explain the spell card rules to this idiot.
Spell card rules for morons. Spell card rules are designed to put fighters at equal footing, regardless of power. According to game/canon, it's a dogfight until you have to fire a card, and each card has a time limit or health limit before it runs out. The first person to run out of cards or lives loses. What this means for Sado is that all he has to do is land enough hits to take down his opponents regardless of strengths, and spell card rules equalize the playing field. Also, speaking of punches, yokai are immune to physical attacks! And really, even if that weren't the case, you'd never get close enough to land a punch without being riddled with bullets first. That about sound right? Steve-O? I can't hear him. Stream? Can you guys hear me? Steve-O? Uh-oh. Wait, you can hear me, but who can hear? I guess I'll continue for him until he gets back. Reimu and Marisa exchanged glances with each other before the former spoke. Well, most of them, but otherwise, yes. And the third person? The third reason? Because it looks like a lot of fun, I grinned. Obvious wish fulfillment is obvious. It also makes your character look like a complete man-child. Risking your life in... Oh.
Sorry, I was using the bathroom. I can't wait to hear what you've been saying. Anyway. You what?
Oh, I was just continuing from obvious wish fulfillment is obvious, and risking your life in a dangerous fantasy world looks like fun!
Yay. Reimu and Spastique face-palmed herself, while Marisa giggled at the answer. I don't really get you, Reimu.
And Spastique and the world
said, 1 minute you are serious, the next you are playful. 1 minute you are mature, and the next you are childish.
Except without the mature part.
And apparently, Spaz, face-palmed Reimu. Wait a minute,
I face-palmed myself and her, like I didn't have enough cheeks to face-palm with.
Oh, okay. Steve-O, do. Anyway. It's as if the author can't decide what kind of character you should be. Also, I saw no part of the story where Sado was mature. None. He's really childish. Deal with it, I grinned. Sunglasses. That's just the way I am. Way to spit in my face, dickwad. No, I'm not gonna deal with it. You're a bitch that needs to be choked. Honestly, I don't remember the last time I had such a visceral hatred for a fictional character. You're arrogant, foolish, belligerent, childish, and have way too much power. Do you really expect us to sympathize with such an immature prick such as yourself? And considering you're a self-insert, my spiteful opinion of you permeates to the author. That's right, Mr. Helsing, this fic gives me the impression that you're a horrible person. And to all you other aspiring writers out here, this is why you don't use self-inserts.
To soften the blow, there is a remedy. Give your characters human flaws and show them struggling for something under pressure. I've seen a bazillion childish but likable characters, but Sato isn't one of them because he has everything handed to him on a silver platter and no human traits. He doesn't even have a look to him. Now, don't think that putting your characters in wacky situations will get us to empathize with them. Make them human. And don't just tell them, they're human because I say they are. They have this backstory, they have all these problems, do-do-do. No, illustrate them actually doing things a human would do, like experience fear, frustration, failure, loss. That way the victories actually feel earned and less contrived, especially if they happen to be a character development and not just because the plot says so. It's like my character development versus chronological character development. Now, I forgot who said this, but one of my favorite lines about writing characters is, "Come down to earth. That's where the people are." And as negative and jaded as I am, I still have hope for all writers, good or bad, but mostly the bad. The good writers don't need help. It's not as a famous person once said, it's not the healthy that go to doctors, but the sick.
Indeed. Anyway, back to third-person POV. We're not finished. Above Hakure's shrine, a blonde woman flying in the sky continues to watch as the trio continued her chat, covering her face with a white paper fan with a parasol over her head. Oh look, it's Yukari.
Or as I will refer to her, Sato's next victim.
It was then a gap opened, and a nine-tailed fox, a QB wearing... Wait, wasn't there already an open gap?
I think it's another gap.
Oh, whatever. It was then another gap opened, and a nine-tailed fox, a QB wearing a blue and light purple dress with a blue print on the front came out. Please refer to my earlier screed on synonyms and why using the term nine-tailed fox and QB right next to each other, like that's necessary.
He means a kitsune, right? Or did he just combine words again?
Like the woman, she has blonde hair, only shorter, and covered by a light pink two-tailed hat. The woman glanced at her. Ah, Ron. Wait, do you want to do Ron?
Sure.
Mistress, is that person...
Another fucking Gary Stew you gapped here. The woman nodded her head. Wow, my peanut throw makes it even funnier afterwards. She then turned towards her mistress. Aren't you... Sorry. That's your line, apparently. Because that makes more sense.
Yeah. Aren't you going to greet him?
Said, aren't you going to greet him?
Skippy the flailing...
Said Captain James Robert the Human. Man whore extraordinaire. And yes, I did spell that,
Extraordinaire.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, yes, Jim Bob the Human is one of my characters. And yes, he is related to Steve-O. Fun fact! To the fox's surprise, her missus shook her head. It's too soon, Ron. It's not time.
We need to pad this story out until it's long enough to abruptly go to the climax, which will more than likely be Sato engaging in a one-sided battle and beating the bad guy.
Ron merely nodded her head, understanding her hesitation. After all, the boy is... The chosen one. Okay, cliche done. Let's move on. I need to knock something over side. Okay, let's move on.
It's the 50th chosen one you gapped in this week.
Oh.
Come along now, Chen is waiting for us. The woman opened a gap and passed through the gap, but before sparing a final glance at Sato. Chosen one! I'm coming!
That's gonna happen. It would have happened if this writer continued.
Let's see. Ron watched the boy for a few moments before passing through the gaps that closes. On feeling that he was being watched, Sato looked up into the sky. But then the gap had closed, and there was no sign that anyone was there at all. Fate had determined the two would meet, but now is not the time. Soul Calibur! Also, I tried calling him out for a spoiler, but apparently, Spastic doesn't think it's a spoiler.
Well, yeah, this is a legitimate technique known as the dramatic irony revelation structure. One of my favorite writing gurus, Robert McKee, says there's 3 ways to reveal information in a story. Through mystery, where nobody knows the information. Suspense, where the characters know more than the audience, or at least I think it's the other way around, or something like that. And then dramatic irony, where the audience knows more than the characters. So in this case, the story's intrigue does not come from the reveals. It comes from dreading that something is going to happen. And technically, this technique has a longer shelf life than doing it through suspense or mystery, because when you go through the first time, you're only there because of curiosity. But all the reviewings, rewatchings, you're dreading these inevitable events. And when you design a story where these inevitable events are going to happen, then each time you watch it, there's nothing you can do about it. These characters are going to repeat the same actions over and over again. But that being said, why should they wait and pad the story out? A story is only as long as the idea is inherent with it. That's padding in its greatest sense.
Wait, what ideas are in this story?
Nothing. That's the problem. They're trying to stretch out a paper-thin thing. Guy gets stuck in Gensokyo, and that's it. Now he has to battle Gensokyo. No, not Gensokyo. Well, yeah, Gensokyo. Well, he's got to battle Yukari and whoever. But why, we're never going to figure out.
And done. Ah, thank Jesus. Sato's... Let's see, and here's the end author's note. Sato starts his Danmaku and flying training in the next chapter. And maybe his first Danmaku battle. A Danmaku battle happens in this chapter. You know. Do you have Alzheimer's, dude? No spell cards yet, though. The first 2 are hard enough as it is, even though you need spell cards in order to do a Danmaku battle in Gensokyo. Right?
Yes.
Second opinion.
Actually, mid-bosses don't have spell cards. They just attack, but then they get shot down.
Yeah, pretty much. So the next chapter will be pure exposition. Let me get the vodka.
Don't worry, Steve-O, there is no next chapter.
Okay, never mind then. Saving the vodka for another day. Saving the vodka for another Toho fanfic that was uploaded to adultfanfiction.net.
Oh,
the Miko and the Witch are perverts. Don't worry, it's just 1 chapter.
Is there any biological functions other than what naturally happens during consummation?
Yep.
Then I'm out.
Okay. Hey, who wants to do a dramatic reading of that with me?
Moving on?
Moving on! I'd rather be reading that than this. Honestly, I wanted to have Marisa master Spark Sato by having her think he injured Reimu, but figured that was a little too cliche, so I left it out instead. Trollface.jpg. If you're truly worried about being too cliche, this fic would not exist.
And this is the part where you may want to remove all sharp objects from the room. Because if that would have happened, that would have been dramatic. What writers tend to aim for. I mean, imagine this. Sato, who we thought was invincible up to that point, gets hit with the strongest attack in Toho, and gets knocked out. That would have been interesting. But still, he's worrying about cliches, but he included every other cliche, and the one that would have saved this fic was the one he omitted.
Also, did you was about to say? Oh yeah. Where's the? I didn't see any turds flying toward any fans, so I don't care. That's the rule of thumb, right?
Yes. In fact, they even made a little thing that stories are not about the guy securing that or the fan or the after image of the Walmart covered in what's it. It's the slow motion image of that going towards the fan and then covering the little kids in the produce aisle.
I see. So a great story is watching a turd flying toward a van. Is
and
that
hitting
right?
it. Not just flying towards it, but hitting it.
Alright.
And
But
you
it's not
dread
just
it
flying
hitting the
towards
fan, but then it hits the fan, and then it gets a kid in the eye, and a pregnant lady, and some old man.
But the point... But, yeah, we got the point across. we're gonna have to... I'm gonna have to deal with that with, the Miko and the Witcher perverts, alright?
Okay.
Anyway, the fist fight, since they also use their legs, was partially inspired by Metal Gear Solid 4's final battle. Man, that was epic. First of all, you straight up ripped off a scene from something else. You plagiarized. Isn't that illegal?
Yes.
You have committed a crime, Mr. Helsing! And you pulled the fight scene from a video game, which would be cool if it were reenacted with Toho characters, but, Sato isn't a Toho character and really just ruins it.
Also, epic equals I'm too immature to think of my own ideas. Or you're awesome or cool. And that's not really even epic. Watch Ben-Hur, which has an intermission sequence between its, halfway point. And then tell me what's epic.
Fiddler on the Roof isn't epic, but it's still moving. It's
Yeah.
still even more moving. I mean, sure, it's about one individual, or if you want to say on a bigger scale, a family, or if you want on a bigger scale, a town, or if you want on a bigger scale, Russia.
Well, technically, both Robert McKee and John Truby describe an epic as an individual against a very, very large institution. So therefore, Fiddler on the Roof would be considered an epic.
Oh, wow.
A musical epic. And a family drama. A
The
musical
point
epic
is-
family
But the point is, Fiddler on the Roof is fucking awesome.
Yes.
Let's see. So, I hope to see y'all soon. Remember my earlier comment when I said a dead fic would be more hilarious with a comment like that at the end?
Yep.
Okay.
Breathe, Evo.
Sorry, I'm literally raffling. Whew. Whew. So anyway, now for what's actually on the script. One flaw I noticed about Sato, he's not too bright. I want to point out for two reasons. Yeah, point that out for two reasons. First, the author did not point out explicitly that Sato is foolish. He showed that he's dumb. This might be unintentional on Mr. Helsing's part, but I at least know he's dumb because he showed he's dumb. Second is that his character flaw will probably never hinder him at all.
What character flaw? Oh, yeah.
Indeed. Notice how it hasn't already and he beat
He
him with
figures
just
out
his
what to
bare
do in every
fists.
situation.
Yeah.
Nothing stops him.
The author doesn't want his OC to be a stew, but he's a stew in almost every respect. It's like he didn't research what makes a stew a stew.
But I don't he who must not be named, the writer of a certain Zappin' to the Max webcomic, didn't he actually directly say in one of his questions and answer things that good guys are not supposed to lose ever?
I think so.
That's why I did that quote earlier.
Alright.
But yeah, in fact, even Colonel Diamondback had the same reaction. In fact, in one of my Skype chats, I told him this, and he said, "Wait, good guys can lose a story?" And I said, "Yes. Also, grass grows, sun shines, birds fly, and the scout hurts people."
Indeed. I mean, tragedy is a whole super genre. There are a cornucopia of works where the bad guy loses.
Or the good guy loses, you mean?
I mean, the good guy loses, sorry. Where the good guy loses. In fact, some of the biggest classics are where the good guy loses. Look at Hamlet.
King Lear.
1984.
I just saw one. The Godfather 1 and 2 and 3.
Yeah, those are great works, and our protagonist is just... he fails.
And even in ones where like Superman is a good example of a character who is unstoppable, except for the fact that he can't be in two places at once, and then he literally has to break his ideals to save Lois. Like, that's character. Like, you have an invincible character who still has flaws.
Mm-hmm.
And a quote that I have in Diamond in the Rough, where Miko, a hermit, says, "Hey, even hermits have to face problems. I'm still trying to become a Celestial." And even the Celestials get bored out of their minds sometimes.
So unless your character is a Buddha, he better have flaws.
Even the Buddhas, like Byakuran is sealed up in a seal for like thousands of years.
Okay. So anyway, actually, no. Any last remarks you'd like to say?
Before we continue the script to wrap this up.
Before we wrap this up.
Get a story manual. I'd recommend Robert McKee's story, John Truby's Anatomy of Story, and if you're really desperate, Save the Cat by Blake Snyder. If you want to learn how to improve. Or contact me. I'm open pretty much every day. Well, if I'm not in class, that is.
Well, what did I say? What did I want to say about story theory or what have you? Like the nature of characters. Oh well, I'll think of it later. Anyway, I think that's it. Any further business, Brother Spastique?
Nope, just finishing up Diamond in the Rough. I'm going to try to shoot for like a June 28th, 29th release, and that's pretty much it.
Alrighty, no business being in the south, nor the west, nor the east, we shall close this stream. This is Steve the Human signing out.
And me too.
Alrighty,